Hi there students. This video is about phrasal verbs and how to use them with pronouns, with personal pronouns. Okay, phrasal verbs are split into three groups. The first group is intransitive phrasal verbs. For example, to get up. I get up early every day. So intransitive, there's no direct object. Yeah. How are you getting along? How are you progressing? No direct object. The second group is separable phrasal verbs. So these are phrasal verbs that are transitive. So I looked up the word in the dictionary. I looked the word up in the dictionary. So we need to be careful where we put the object. Now in separable phrasal verbs, if we use a noun, the information, I looked the information up, or I looked up the information. You can use both of those forms. But if you swap the information for it, then you need to be careful. I looked it up, but not I looked up it. So separable phrasal verbs, you must always put the pronoun, the personal pronoun, it, he, between the verb and the particle. Okay, I looked it up, but you can't say I looked up it. Most phrasal verbs, about 90%, are separable and follow this rule. He palmed his old car off on me. He palmed off his old car on me. But it must be he palmed it off on me. Notice me is the indirect object. Off on me, and that's okay. Now the final group are inseparable phrasal verbs. For example, to look after. And with inseparable phrasal verbs, the object, the direct object, must always come after the particle. With an inseparable verb, you can never separate the verb and the particle. So, I look after my mother. I look after her. You can never say, I looked my mother after. You can't separate them. Okay? I looked her after. No. So it's slightly different from the separable ones. The separable ones, it, them, me, always needs to go between the verb and the particle. I looked it up. But if it's a noun, I looked the information up, I looked up the information. But if it's inseparable, you can never separate the verb and the particle. I looked after her, I looked after my mother, but never in between. I looked my mother after, I looked her after, no. And this is an important little bit of getting phrasal verbs right when you use them. So, just to recap, three groups. Intransitive. I get up early. No direct object. Easy. Second group. Separable. If you have a pronoun, a personal pronoun, it must go between the phrasal verb and the particle. Palm it off. If you use a noun, you can put it either side. And inseparable, you can never put anything between the verb and the particle or particles. Notice most of the inseparable phrasal verbs have two particles. So, to get down to work seriously on something. I got down to my work. I got down to it. But you can't put anything in the middle. So there you go, a simple grammar lesson with phrasal verbs. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Yeah, separable, inseparable, transitive, intransitive phrasal verbs.